Just one more story. One more, I swear. Why don't you tell me more about that ball of fire? I heard that there was a huge transparent ball of fire that used to burn 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, maybe even further back than that.
Oh, you mean turnfire. That's where the ancient name Malipo comes from.
Oh, wow. So it was the origin of an ancient name. That's impressive.
Uh-huh. There's a story behind every ancient name. The legend goes that the turnfire first appeared in the era of the Grand Alliance. It was used by the tyrant Och Khan to rule over Natlan and oppress anyone who opposed him. Turnfire is different from normal fire. If you get set on fire with it, you'll feel horrible burning pain from behind you, but you won't die from it right away. And whatever you do, you mustn't turn back to look at it.
Why? What happens if you turn back?
As soon as you turn around, poof! You get burned to a crisp.
Well, good golly gee. I mean, it's one thing to singe someone's clothes, but burning people alive? That is a big no-no in my book.
Right? How nasty is it to burn someone from behind and not even let them turn around to look? Och Khan really was an evil tyrant.
Yes, shocking behavior. Now, let me guess. Eventually, a valiant hero came to save the day? That's usually how these stories go.
Good guess, Uncle Glasses. Seems like you really know your stuff. The hero was called Yupanqui. He's the ancestor of our tribe.
Yupanqui was friends with Och Khan the tyrant, and also Shibalanke, the first Pyro Archon. He was working as an ordnance officer for the Grand Alliance at the time. He didn't like how Och Khan was such a cruel tyrant, so he stole the turnfire and threw it at the Och Khan's army. The soldiers couldn't defend against it, and they all got turned to ash. And that's how our ancestors set our people free. But just as he was about to leave the city, he thought he heard Och Khan calling out to him from behind. It caught him off guard, and he turned around to look.
But Och Khan wasn't there. All he saw was a city burned black, an army in ruins, and giant flames reaching up into the sky.
A split second later, the flames he saw burst out from inside his eyes and swallowed him up.
All it took was a single glance. As soon as he looked back, he was burned to a crisp.
The question is, was this the price he paid for stealing the turnfire, or the price of turning back?
Nobody knows the answer. But the fire that consumed Yupanqui burned more fiercely than any other. It burned for 100 days until it burned a hole right through the ley lines. And then, the flame dropped into the deathly dark Night Kingdom, where it still burns to this day.
The grown-ups say that it lights up the path that leads to the next life. But for the dead to be reborn, they have to accept the flames and be purified by the fire first. It's like a final look back at your life, where you have to answer for everything you did. Anyway, that's the story of Yupanqui's turnfire.
Ah, a fine parable indeed. So, is it true? Is it really possible to find this fire in the Night Kingdom?
I don't know. I think it's just a story.
Either way, I assume this name has been passed down in your tribe ever since?
Sure has. It went to Burkina, the hero that we celebrate on Turnfire Night. But that was 500 years ago.
Yeah, and now belongs to Kinich. So we often call him Malipo Kinich.
Kinich, huh?
All right, Uncle Glasses, that's enough stories. Now, can you please go find the baby saurians for us like you promised?
I would, but doesn't the legend of the Turnfire teach us not to look back? Let's not go dredging up the past. Tell me more about this Kinich guy. One more story, I swear, starting now. No? Careful, Toba. You look dangerously close to cursing me out right now. Tut-tut, we can't have that. Cursing is for grown-ups only.
Uncle, you'd better not be trying to trick us, or the Turnfire will get you when you die.
How would it get me if I'm outside of Natlan? Uncle Glasses isn't from here, you know. Unlike you.
Huh?
Wait, is that? All right, kiddos. I'm a man of my word. 2 of my friends are on their way here, and, yeah, they'll help you out on my behalf. Work them like dogs, okay? That's what they're here for. Don't go easy on them just for my sake.
Really? Well, first, can you tell us your name?
We met at the foot of this cliff, so beneath the peaks, let's go with Sanka.
Seriously?
If you don't believe me, turn around and see for yourselves. They're right behind you.
Huh? Where? Oh, wait! Uncle Sanka, where did you go?
Achoo! Curses! Who dares insult the great Kahula How behind his back?
Oh, great Kahul Ahau, bless you.
Shut your filthy mouth, worm of the abyss! Your putrid words defile the air we breathe. You make the almighty Dragon Lord, Kahula How, sick to the stomach.
Speaking as a member of the Abyss Order, that's music to my ears. Exactly the kind of reaction we're going for. But on a personal level, I gotta say, it's pretty hurtful.
Ugh! Never have we heard such brazen blustering from someone who is inches from death! Up yours, Four Eyes! We spit in your face!
Okay, well, that I am at a loss to explain. How do I manage to stay so chirpy and cheerful? I can only guess it's some kind of powerful magic. But I digress. Mr. Kinich, I admit it, you, sir, are a legendary hunter. Still, the only reason you caught me is that I was reluctant to run away. You see, I'm very interested in the lore of your tribe.
Okay.
Is that it? Kay? Aren't you intrigued to know what it is about you guys that prompted a visit from the Abyss? It's the extreme sports! The other day, I narrowly avoided getting hit by a very brave soul who just leaped off a cliff. I think you call it bungee jumping? Anyway, I was very impressed. That is what I call embracing the spirit of adventure. Look, I even did a painting inspired by the bravery and freedom of the scions of the canopy.
You scum-sucking swine! I swear, if you go bungee jumping, it'll be without a rope! Head first off the tallest cliff, with a band of hunters on your tail, and nowhere left to run, and a bottomless cesspit waiting for you on the ground.
You say that, but I get the sense that Mr. Kinich isn't planning to take my life right now. On top of that, I'm tired of spying on you from afar. So why don't we just negotiate a comfortable operating distance that works for both of us? I've heard that the most important thing in human relationships is to respect each other's boundaries. What do you say, Mr. Kinich?
Or you could tell me what it is you're really after.
What?
And then I'll name my price.
Although the Turnfire is a heroic symbol in Hoytzatlan, it always comes with the more ominous implication of eventual tragedy. This holds true for all bearers of this ancient name in recorded history. Each one of them died of non-natural causes, as if the specter of the Turnfire was always lurking in the background. This appears to suggest the existence of some higher power that is always watching the name-bearer, examining their actions, and eventually demanding payment in return. None can escape this payment, unless, perhaps, they could honestly swear by Turnfire to never make a single mistake in their entire life. You Punky's Turnfire. What an incredible work on ancient name philology. I can't believe it was just lying there for me to take. Let me see, the author is Ponche. Nice. A gentleman and a scholar.
Silence, book muncher! The great Kahula will suffer your droning voice no longer.
Do you truly find no joy at all in perusing such rich historical records?
Joy? What joy is there in this pointless drivel?
Well, it makes a pretty shocking prediction. Every bearer of the ancient name Malipo eventually meets a grisly end. Maybe that's the price you pay for the name that means price?
What? You're saying Kenichi will die a violent death? So I'll finally get to take over his body? When will that glorious day arrive? The great Kahula demands to know!
Wow, you are just irredeemable, aren't you? An agent of chaos down to the core. You make us Abyss Order folks look like saints in comparison.
Silence, maggot! To presume that anyone compares your kind with the great Kahula is sheer vanity. And if that day ever comes, oh, your doom will soon follow.
You don't need to lecture me about Doomsday. Here's what I know, based on countless historical texts. All civilizations will be reduced to rubble by the passage of time. From ancient kingdoms to heavenly thrones to worlds beyond, there are no exceptions. But from the ruins of every civilization, the dust will rise and never settle, thus transcending the confines of time. That dust is what we call a civilization's spirit. And you, great Kahula How, are one such speck of dust from a bygone age. I've paid dearly for the chance to observe you up close. Now, let me take a good look at you. We'll see whether any memories of that age still remain inside you.
Oh, are there even bigger ones on the way?
You see, Kinich? I'm a man of my word. In fact, I'd say I under-promised and over-delivered. Nifty little gizmo, isn't it?
I take it this is your true form?
Now that our deal is complete, it's time to start the next phase of our relationship. I made a promise to the great Kahula How, and now I'm here to seize your body for his use. Cliché, I know. The hero's trusted partner sells him out to the abyss in a shocking act of betrayal. Cue bad guy speech and drawn-out death sequence.
Huh? Enjou?
Huh? Huh? What are you two doing here? Oh, Mr. Kinich, this is not what we agreed on.
Traveler, this is the gift I got you. I know you're looking for intel on the Abyss Order, so I thought he might be of use to you. But it looks like you've already met.
Yikes. Frosty reception. Gotta say, I kinda pictured this moment going a little differently. Tears of joy welling up in your eyes as you say the words, "It's good to see you again, old friend."
Don't be ridiculous. Sounds like you've been reading too many romance novels.
There we have it. Change is inevitable and nothing lasts forever. What a pity. Well then, time for you to meet the new me. This time, please call me Sanka.
Sanka! Aha! So you're Glasses Guy! You tricked Huni and Toba into telling you a bunch of stories!
What does it matter? A name is a superficial label. It's what's deep down inside that counts. And I've shown you the deepest parts of me.
That would explain a lot. Why else would you show up here and start acting like a wise guy? You looking for a fight?
I'll pass. I do rather like you, as I've said before, but my one quibble is that you really don't know your own strength.
Wait, of course! You're the one behind all the recent abyss activity! Let Paimon guess, you've been provoking the Mountain King too!
Haven't I told you before? I'm not part of the inner circle who do our Highness's bidding. My interests are far more low stakes. I spend my time digging for truth in ancient doodads and books. You really think a benchwarmer like me is capable of more than that?
I investigated him. He's not connected to the recent events. Just happens to be in the area. So I struck a deal with him. He helps me summon a rift. I allow him to do some historical research.
But that's all over. And now Kinich wants to hand me over to you. Well, I was hoping this would be an opportune moment to whisk away his body. That would have given me some more time to study the great Kahula How. But now I've run into you, which is just my luck. Or maybe I've incited the wrath of the Turnfire, and this is the price I have to pay. But I don't understand. What did I do wrong? Wait, does that count? Let me think.
How? You are the worst of the worst! Colluding with the Abyss Order against Kinich? How could you betray your partner?
There is no betrayal. The almighty Dragon Lord Kahula How is a partner to no one.
Don't worry, I told him to act as bait.
Yes, and you should have picked a bigger fish. The Abyss Order? Ha! What a joke. Not even a match for our lowly servant. I put up with this toad's croaking for days, and it was all for nothing.
It looks like your disciplinary measures have been less than effective, Mr. Enjou.
What did you expect? Behavioral rehab isn't really our thing. Otherwise, we might as well change our name from the Abyss Order to the Abyss Boarding School.
The abysmal disorder would suit you better. Kanish! Dispose of him! He is of no further use to us!
Traveler?
Hey now, I may be a lowly clerk, but don't underestimate me. I could never beat you in a straight-up fight, but when it comes to running away, I won't lose to anyone. Do me a favor and remember how fast I disappear. Maybe then you'll show me a little respect next time.
Darn! He got away again! Couldn't you have stopped him?
It's all right. He's not worth our time and energy. Besides, it seems like he's in debt to a lot of people.
All need, Mr. Kokachu?
Based on my studies of the ancient texts, hypersensitivity is usually treated with desensitization therapy. So, I figure there's no reason it shouldn't work in reverse. Now, for a poor chap like yourself with no sensitivity to spirits whatsoever, you'll have to completely immerse yourself in spiritually rich substances for this to be effective. I'm electing to name this approach hypersensitization therapy.
Is it risky?
You're the spirit duffer, not me. I'm sure you're more clued up than I am on the potential consequences of brute force clairvoyance. Ultimately, it's your decision.
All right, but I do have one last question. What's in this for you? People like me obviously don't have much clout in this tribe, so it's not like I can offer you much in return.
You think I'm looking for a reward? Oh, my good sir, take a look at my face. Isn't the answer written here clear as day?
What? What's written there?
Just a friendly guy who's happy to help.